Welcome, this is fifth lecture on thermodynamics and in this video I am going to discuss about TdS equation. There are three TdS equations. In this video we will going to see the derivation of all three equations. TdS equation is very important because it directly relates the entropy of a system with measurable quantities like temperature, pressure and volume. We cannot directly measure entropy. So this equation help us to calculate the entropy. Okay. First we will going to derive first TdS equation. So in order to derive first TdS equation, we have to decide on which factor S will depend. For the first TdS equation, we will assume that S will depend upon temperature and volume. So we can write S is a function of temperature and volume. So we can simply write change in S. Change in S is given by rate of change in S with respect to temperature into change in temperature plus rate of change in entropy with respect to volume into change in volume. Basically, this equation tells us if temperature will change by dt and if volume will change by an amount dV, then change in entropy will be ds and it can be calculated by this relation. Now simply multiply T on both sides. So this become TdS equals to T del S del T dt plus T del S del V into dV. Now our motive is to replace this or eliminate this del S del V and del S del T by some measurable quantities. Now we can rewrite this equation into this form. Why? Because this T del S del T V is nothing but Cv, means specific heat at constant volume, which is denoted by Cv. So this TdS equals to Cv dt plus T del S del V at constant T into dV. Now from first Maxwell's relation we know del S del Vt is equals to del P del Tv. Just replace this and we will get the final form of TdS equation, which is TdS equals to Cv dt plus T del P del Tv into dV. Now we can easily see right hand side is completely measurable quantity, volume, pressure and temperature. This is property of system, and left hand side is ds. See, this equation directly relates the unmeasurable quantity like entropy with the measurable quantities. This is first TdS equation. This is first TdS equation, but we can represent it in other form also. Let's try to do that. In order to replace in other form, we can use this relation which says del P del Tv is equals to minus del P del Vt into del V del Tp. For time being, just assume this is the relation. I will going to prove this relation in last part of this video. So if you replace this, we will get TdS equals to this. Now volume coefficient of expansion is given by 1 upon V into del V del Tp, and isothermal elasticity is given by minus V del P del Vt. These two are the property of the system. If you use these two relation into this equation, you will get TdS equals to Cv dt plus T alpha, which is volume coefficient of expansion, into isothermal elasticity into dV. This is also a form of TdS equation. It relates the entropy with the property of system. So this one is called first TdS equation and this is its another form. Now move to second TdS equation. Here we will assume S will depend on temperature and pressure. In first TdS equation we assumed that S will depend upon temperature and volume. So we can simply write S as a function of temperature and pressure. So the change in S is given by this relation ds equals to del S del Tp into dt plus del s del pt into dp. Now multiply t on both sides, we will get TdS equals to T del S del Tp dt plus T del S del Pt dP. Now this first factor, which is T del S del Tp, is nothing but specific heat at constant pressure, which is denoted by Cp. TdS equals to Cp dt plus T del S del Pt into dP. Now one step is still left. We have to eliminate this del S del Pt, and to do that we need to take the help of Maxwell's relation, which says del S del Pt is equals to minus del V del Tp. Thus we will get TdS equals to Cp dt minus T del V del Tp dP. This is nothing but second TdS equation. Now here we can easily see the right hand side is completely independent of ds. What we have is everything measurable quantities like T, V and P. Okay, first TdS equation related ds with Cv, the second TdS equation related ds with Cp. And in first case we have seen change in volume was involved. In this case change in pressure is involved. Now like previous case we can represent it in different form. Volume coefficient of expansion is given by 1 upon V del V del Tp. We can utilize this and we can write TdS equal to Cp dt minus Tv alpha dP. This is another form of second TdS equation. So if someone will ask you what is the second TdS equation, you have to write this equation only. You cannot write this equation. So this is the actual form of second TdS equation. Let's move to third TdS equation. Here we will going to use pressure and volume as independent variables. So we can write simply as a function of pressure and volume. Change in S is given by ds equals to rate of change of S with respect to pressure into dP plus rate of change of S with respect to volume into dV. Just multiply both sides P, we will have this equation. TdS equals to T del S del PV dP plus T del S del Vp dV. Now use the chain rule, which says that del S del P can be written as del S del T into del T del P. You can easily see this del T will cancel out and you will have del S by del P. Similarly, if you use the chain rule here, it will give us T del S del Tp into del T del Vp dV. Now this term and this term looks familiar, which is nothing but this is Cv, this is Cp. So we will have TdS equals to Cv del T del Pv dP plus Cp del T del Vp dV. Okay, and this is third TdS equation. So we have derived all these three equations. Let's try to see some of its application. Okay, we will try to calculate the entropy of a van der Waals gas. Now entropy we cannot directly measure, so we will take the help of TdS equation in order to calculate the entropy. Equation of state for a van der Waals gas says that P plus A upon V square multiplied by V minus B is equals to RT. This is equation of state for van der Waals gas. From this equation we can calculate del P del T at constant volume. Just need to take the derivative on the both sides with respect to T by taking V as a constant. So if you take a derivative, you will get V minus B into del P del T, and this term will give you a 0. So the final form of del P del T V is equals to R upon V minus B. From first TdS equation we know TdS equals to Cv dt plus T del P del T V dV. Just substitute del P del T here and you will get ds equals to, just take this T in the denominator, you will have Cv upon T into dt plus this T will cancel out with this, and for this del P del T V we will get R upon V minus B into dV. Now you need to integrate this equation in order to get S. So let's integrate it. Substitute the limit. Just assume that temperature changes from T0 to T, volume changes from V0 to V. So we can write S equals to integration over T0 to T Cv upon T into dt plus integration of V0 to V R upon V minus V dV plus S0. Here S0 is entropy in the reference state, which is at V0 and T0. So if you evaluate this integration of 1 upon T dt is nothing but log T. If you substitute that limit, you will get log T upon T0. S equals to Cv log T upon T0 plus R into ln V minus V upon V0 minus B plus S0. This is the final entropy. You can easily see this temperature, volume, everything is known. You can easily calculate the entropy. Also, one thing you must note that in performing this integration, we have assumed that Cv is constant, otherwise we cannot take it out from the integration, and we have assumed that it is independent of temperature in the range where we are performing this integration. Now, as I promised to you that I am going to prove this relation at the end of this video, so let's prove it. We assume any general function which is a function of x, y and z. So we can write function of x, y, z equals to 0, and at the end we can take x, y, z as any thermodynamic variable. Okay, it may be p, v and t, anything. If f is a function of x, y, z and it is given by fx, y, z equals to 0, then we can simply rearrange the function so that we can separate out x and we can write x as a function of y and z. Basically, we can reduce whole function by keeping x in the left hand side, and all the right hand side will have only y and z term. So we can write x equals to a function of y and z. The change in x will be given by del x del y at constant z into dy plus del x del z at constant y into dz. In similar manner, we can write z in the left hand side and right hand side will be completely x and y terms. Z will be a function of x and y. Thus dz, that is change in z, is given by del z del x y into dx plus del z del y x into dy. We have these two equations. This is for the change in x, this is for change in z. So we can eliminate this dz from the equation 1 by using this equation 2. So if you substitute dz in the equation 1, then you will get this equation. Okay. Now here change in x and change in y are independent to each other because x and y are independent variables. You can independently change x, you can independently change y. These two are not related to each other. So that's why we can say dx and dy are independent to each other. We can simply equate their coefficient. If you equate the coefficient of dy, what you will get, this side there is no dy. So the coefficient of dy in the left hand side is 0. So just simply write 0, and in the right hand side we have del x del y at constant z plus this multiplied by this del x del z at constant y into del z del y at constant x. So we will get this relation just by equating coefficient of dy. Now take this part in the right hand side, we will get del x del y at constant z equals to minus del x del z at constant y into del z del y at constant x. As I said that this x, y, z can be any variable, so now just take x as a p, y as a t and z as v. Thus we have the relation which we have to prove. Hope all these calculations are clear to you. It's very easy calculation, but I request you to Do it by yourself using pen and paper. It will give you a confidence. So I'm stopping here. See you. Thank you.